Hi, everyone. Welcome to the How We Hustle podcast.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Tanya. And we invite you to join us in our unfiltered conversation about the real life hustle of being an entrepreneur. For more information about the podcast, check out howwehustlepodcast.com. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at How We Hustle Podcast, where you'll get notable quotes from our episodes and updates on live new episodes. So head over to Instagram and follow us at How We Hustle Podcast. I'm so excited to talk about this topic because it's my new favorite thing.
So on the last episode, we talked about engagement, and this brings us to the next topic, which is how do we get people interested in us other than paid ads? Because it's really easy to buy ads on Facebook and get people into your world that way. But what are some of the other ways that you can bring people into your sphere without just paying for traffic and paying for ads?
Okay, so this is my new favorite topic. So we talk a lot about community over competition and engagement and getting to know people in your industry and networking, but we haven't really talked about collaborations with people. And I think that that's something that's really been helping me expand my reach, because you have your network, then you pay for ads, but you don't want to be spending all of your money on paid ads and not using any of the other channels, because there are so many other ways to get organic reach. And so thinking about different ways, I've been using things like collaborations and podcasts and videos and summits and guest experts to widen my reach. So maybe I'll slow down a bit and start with collaborating. So if you collaborate with other people in your industry, maybe there are people that do something a little bit different from you, or that their audience would benefit from something that you are an expert in, and collaborating with them to bring their audience something that they would otherwise not have. And that means doing guest experts for other people's programs, going into people's Facebook groups to be a guest expert and share your expertise. Plus, I bring guest experts into my program, and I can say that a lot of them have gotten clients from being a guest expert in my program, because I'm bringing in people that do something different from what I do. Things like copywriting or YouTube videos or Pinterest or web development or branding. Things I maybe do the basics, give them the foundation, but if they want to take it to the next level, that these people are experts in that area. So can you collaborate with people in your network, people that you've been in a mastermind with, people in other Facebook groups? Can you offer to share something of value with their audience or network? Even, sharing something on people's email list or their social media, or doing a live video with someone else. But I've been doing a lot of it with summits and podcast interviews. So summits are when you join up with a group of people. For me, it's a group of women. And we all do our special interviews with the summit host. And then the summit host posts all the interviews and all the free giveaways and all of those things for everyone's audience. So my audience will get 21 other guest experts and their trainings and their free downloads, and 21 other guest experts will see my stuff. So it's a really easy and great way to, for free, get your information and your expertise to a much, much wider audience.
So, and what are some other ways?
So also doing podcast interviews. I've been doing a bit of podcast interviews to promote our podcast, and it's really fun to get to know other podcasters and to speak to their audience and just have fun on a podcast and get your message out there and meet other people in your industry. So one of the things that I think is really important about pitching yourself to a podcast is talking to them about specific things that you can bring to their audience. What haven't they spoke about that you think would be beneficial to their audience? And really knowing their podcast. So not just choosing somebody and not even listening to any of their podcasts and then posting, oh, I think I would be a great fit. You want to actually identify certain episodes that you love, or what you haven't touched on, or maybe expanding on a topic that they did talk about. And sharing like pitching yourself in that way and having some questions or certain topics that you are an expert in and giving them some information so that they can check you out and decide if you would be a good fit for them is always a good way. And then promoting your free download.
I think when you're pitching yourself, it's always good to remember something we've talked about before, which is that basically people don't care about you. They care about themselves. So when you're pitching yourself, don't say, oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm whatever. Be like, I can help you. I can help your audience. This is what I can do for them. This is how I can benefit them. Like, pitch it that way. Pitch the value that you can give others as opposed to selling what you think are your own strengths.
Mm-hmm. Such a good point. So like, why should they care? What are they going to get from bringing you on their podcast? It's really all that people want to know. And not just like, and also not getting discouraged if somebody doesn't reply or you don't get on that podcast, but choosing podcasts that you think you'd be a great fit for, like in different ranges that have smaller audiences and larger audiences. And really, it's going to be about the numbers at the beginning, like pitching yourself, connecting with people, networking, speaking to people, and keep at it. Like, even if you get a no, just keep going because there are so many podcasts out there. And there are definitely a number of them that will want to work with you or that will want to interview you. So that would be a really great way to get the message out, to also network, to also create some collaborations. I know one of the podcasts I was on yesterday, we were talking about bringing each other onto our live videos and doing some sort of interview there and really helping each other out. Because one of the things I love about summits is that I know that even if you're on my email list, maybe I'm not the best fit in terms of a coach for you. I swear a lot. Sometimes I am warm and fuzzy and sometimes I'm a hard ass. So I know that there are tons of incredible coaches. In fact, some of my own clients have gotten clients from inside my Leap group. So let's say one of the ladies in my Leap group, and this has happened in my Leap group, needs some one-to-one support, and maybe I'm not the best fit for one-to-one support for her, but there's another amazing, incredible woman in the program who's a great fit for her as a one-to-one coach. And so she'll go and hire that person. So knowing that there's always someone who can help somebody in your network, and by providing different options for them, it doesn't take anything away from you because those people were not going to work with you to begin with, but it provides them with something that will support them. So by offering other people's expertise, you're actually doing a service to this person rather than not sharing other people's expertise and then not helping them at all because they didn't really connect with you.
That's a good point. Just in collaboration in general, it's about the abundance mentality. Like, bring people in, and if they end up benefiting it from it more than you, like, that's okay. Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is don't be worried about letting other people benefit from your value. If you do a summit and you're getting great value and someone else books a client from it, like, it's all part of the energy. Like, just get yourself involved in it and get yourself out there.
Mm-hmm. And just believe that there's enough people for everyone. There's enough people. I always say this in my groups is that there are so many more people out there than there are people to help them. There are 7 billion people, and I can guarantee you that there are not even 3 billion people that are doing what you're doing. So there's a limited number of people and a limited number of spaces in people's programs for them to work with. So they need other options. They need to see you, and they need to see other experts as well. And sometimes I have a lot of clients in my Leap group who are actually working with other coaches at the same time of working with me. So some of them will have a business coach and a life coach, or a health coach and a business coach, because we're touching on different topics. So just because someone is working with you doesn't mean that they can't also work with someone else, and vice versa. So don't let that discourage you either, because there's enough for everybody, and we all have different expertise, and we could all benefit from the different ways that people say things. Also, I always make this joke where sometimes it means that you need to hear it from somebody else. Like, if you're hearing it from the same person all the time, I always describe this as like when your parents tell you to do something and you're like, you don't listen. But then some expert or somebody on TV or on a TV show or at a summit or a networking event that you see says the same thing, and suddenly it sinks in for you and you actually listen. And your parents are like, I say that to you every day. How come you never listened when I said it? But it's because we sometimes need to hear it from somebody else. So having a variety of people in your network and sharing and helping is beneficial for everyone.
Yeah, we've had that discussion before where I'll tell you something and you'd be like, Michael, I tell you that all the time.
Yes, all the time we have that discussion because I'm like, sometimes I feel like you don't hear me. Not so much anymore, but back in the day, I would be like, do you know what I do? Do you know how I help people? But, it's because it was too close, right? So you didn't see me in the same sort of light. It's the same way, like if you know somebody versus somebody you don't know, sometimes you hold other people that you don't know to a higher standard or you esteem, I guess, because you see them differently than the people who are in your close network that like are your friends or that you know well or things like that. But I do think that those are not the only ways that you can do it, like summits and collaborations and podcasting and live video interviews are some of the ways, or guest experts, but there are other ways too. Like you can also do a social media takeover where you post on someone's account. You can do a training in somebody's Facebook group. You can be featured on email or guest blog, be a speaker. Mike, you were talking about doing live events because you go to a lot of live events. Maybe you can speak to that.
Well, I love going to live events. And I just go, I almost just go for the sake of it. Like I actually went to a live event 2 days ago on the future of marketing and I really didn't like it. And I went to an event last week that I really didn't like either. And I actually left a little bit early. But the point is first of all, the first point is I didn't like them. And both events, I was thinking to myself, because there's a certain mindset when you go to a live event and the person that's up at the front talking, you sort of elevate them. Like, wow, they're such an expert. They must be so much better than me, But then I listen to the content. I'm not to put anyone down, but I'm like, I'm really not into this. And then I think to myself, if I gave a live event like this, and offer the value that I have to offer, it would be so good. So this is something that I want to do a lot more of in 2018 is just put myself out there for live workshops. I want to do workshops where I teach people that they can become an author. I teach them how they can become an author, how they can become a bestseller. And this is value that people want. And I got to remind myself that people want to hear what I have to say. People are going to come to an event for an hour or 2 hours and listen to me provide value. So
to be honest, shameless plug right now, but the value you give in your Facebook group, Mike, blows my mind every single time that you post something in there. If you guys have not joined his Facebook group, I highly recommend it because if that is what is inside of you in terms of what you can provide, I can't even imagine what a workshop on that topic would be because just the posts you put in that Facebook group are crazy valuable. They're all things I had no idea about.
Holla.
Yeah, no joke. It blows my mind every single time. So I definitely agree with you that if you did a live workshop, it would be crazy valuable. Maybe that's something we should start doing. P.S. Just saying, you just told the world that you're going to do it.
Oh, I'm doing it. And I think that I've and I probably lots of people can resonate with this mindset. Just I'm not good enough to, first of all, plan an event, sell tickets to an event, even if it's a free event. A lot of events are free. But you still have to promote yourself and you're almost selling free tickets. And it's am I good enough?
Start somewhere.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying free is bad. I'm just saying you still have to send out an email saying, register for my event. And there's all sorts of steps where the imposter syndrome is really, really going to get you if you let it. But
it's no different than launching a course.
Yeah. So this 2018 and I'm putting it out there. I am going to do live events. And I am going to promote myself. I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to like get in touch with people who are running live events, and I'm going to say, I'm awesome. Let me get on your stage and share my value with the people that are in your network.
Or creating your own.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, that's what I mean.
Because like, to be honest, for live events, like Facebook is amazing because you can do local Facebook ads.
See, the potential is there. So anyone can do it. Just have to like
believe that you can.
Yeah, believe that you can. Exactly. And so live events are another way that you can really get yourself. And I want to say, like, when I see someone live, like I connect with them, like on a level that maybe is different than behind a screen. Like when you have someone face to face, like I've gone to 2 events this year with the same person, and like I'm into it. Like when I watch someone on stage, especially if it's a small group, you know, if it's a presentation that's got like 10, 20 people. So don't worry about having to attract 100 people. Like if you can get 10 people in front of you and you can have an intimate setting where you share your value, like that is really valuable because you're going to really impact those 10 people or those 5 people or 15 people, whatever.
I can't wait to start getting working on this, Mike.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to invite you and everyone on our podcast. You're also invited.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And we can all learn how to write a book. And I mean, also like on that topic, like you were talking about how you have to promote it. I know that one of the things that you will do is you'll ask other people to promote it. Other people in Toronto to promote it to their lists that have lists, right? Asking people on social media to promote it. You know, asking people you can ask shout outs on Instagram or do live videos in other people's groups to promote your course, to promote your workshop, any of that, to promote your content, to promote your webinar. One of the things I love in my Facebook group is we do Promo Sunday because I think it's so important to brag and to sell and to share the things that you're doing with other people so that they can share them.
So I guess sort of the overall theme that we're talking about is like collaborate with other people and get other people to like share your value with other people and their networks, and let the other people share their value with you and your networks. Work together and your message will spread like virally, exponentially. And that is a great way to, you know, expand your reach without having to resort to paid ads all the time.
And that's a wrap on another episode of How We Hustle. For more information, check out howwehustlepodcast.com.